Hey y'all, this is Destiny tuning in with today's Daily Diamond. Hey family, as always, I would like to say welcome to anybody who is new and checking out my podcast. I thank you for the support. I have some huge freaking news. So somebody somewhere out there has been listening, and we officially, as of sometime last night, crossed the 5,000 downloads mark. I am freaking overjoyed. I am flabbergasted, and I have no idea what to do for my giveaway. So I'm really looking for ideas, and I'm kind of sort of speechless about it. I didn't think I would make it this far, and so I have to give all of you a huge shout out and thank you for all of the sharing, all of the comments, all of the reviews, all of everything that you guys have done for me along this 6-month journey. $5,000 downloads in 6 months isn't too shabby, if I must say so myself. So thank you. Details for the 5K giveaway will be coming soon, because now I really got to figure something out. You know that before I do anything else, though, I have to thank my sponsors. So up first, that we have my favorite lip gloss in the world, Kisses by Chelly. Make sure you check out Chelly for your lip glosses and your lashes. She has lashes available as well as lip gloss. So make sure you check her out. Then, of course, we have our up-and-coming braider, Lisha. Make sure you check her out for your box braids, your buns, your ponytails, and your curls. And then, of course, we have my best friend, Tiana Nate. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, and comment on all of her videos and follow her on YouTube. She posted a new video this week, and she said that there are some up-and-coming videos on a more regular schedule. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Click that little bell so it goes off every time she posts a new video. And last but not least, that we have the only hair that I wear, the Royal Crown Extensions. Make sure you guys check out Royal Crown Extensions for your bundles, your lashes, your bonnets, your wigs, and your closures. And if and when you shop with any of the ladies, make sure you let them know that Destiny sent you. Now, on to today's topic. So today's topic is a special request from Kisses by Chelly. So Chelly, this episode is for you. I'm holding up my end of the promise. So Shelton wanted me to do a podcast on growth. And growth is something that is a necessary component of everybody's life. It doesn't matter if we grow in size, grow in age, grow in weight, grow in height, right? We grow. But growth is not necessarily always something that is comfortable. But it's a necessary thing. So it's got some positives, and sometimes it has some drawbacks. But we got to do what we got to do. And so here are my thoughts on growth. Growth is something that is a necessary thing. Growth is something that can cause you to be extremely reflective of yourself, your friendships, your relationships, your business partners, your job, your role as a parent, your role as a student, as a woman, as a man, as whatever, right? Growth is necessary, and growth is uncomfortable. My mom used to always tell me when I was getting ready to make a change or do something, like when I was afraid, she would say, well, sometimes you got to step out on faith. And if you step out on faith, I guarantee you won't fall. And when I think about growth, I really think about that same analogy. Whatever you are going through, whatever you are struggling with, you've got to be able to step out on faith. You've got to know that at the end of the day, things will work out. Even when things are bad, you've got to learn to have a positive outlook on life. You've got to learn that even when things are bad, there's something to be learned from the bad times. There's something to be earned from the bad times. There's something to be grateful for from those bad times. And so as you go throughout your life, as you go throughout the day, the week, the month, you are going to be put in situations all the time where you're required to grow. Growth, though, is a beautiful thing. Even though it's not necessarily the most enjoying thing, right? It's not enjoyable. We don't always necessarily like it. It can be painful. It's a beautiful thing. When we grow, we're able to look at ourselves, our friends, our relationships, our world with a different set of eyes. The older that you become and the older that you get, the more that you're required to grow. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it, right? Every day that you wake up, you have another 24 hours to do something that you hadn't done. And in those 24 hours, sometimes you're required to grow. You're required to make a different decision or say something differently or move differently than you would have 24 hours before. That's why I fundamentally believe, you can't say you know nobody, because who a person is 6 months ago or who they gonna be in 6 months is not who they were last year or who they gonna be next year or who they're gonna be 5 years from now. I really, really, really don't like when people be like, oh, I know you. People don't change. Yes, people do. Now, I don't think that people can be forced to change by external factors. I do believe that people, when they want to grow and when they want to change, it has to be done internally. You have to make a conscientious decision to decide to grow and to decide to change. And you, as a human being, are not going to do anything until you're good and goddamn ready for it. And so growth is one of those things. We can ignore it. We can walk around it. We can circle around it. We can try to circumvent it, but it will eventually happen. But when it happens, be reflective in the growth. Why are you going through what you're going through? What is there to be learned from the thing? What is there to be thankful about from the process or from the thing? And I believe in the fundamental power of prayer. Pray through that growth. Pray that God, makes things clear to you. Makes things where you understand what the journey is that you're on. And not all the times, God is not always going to make that journey crystal clear to you because he doesn't need to. But sometimes he might. I don't care what you are going through. You got to figure out a way to grow. You got to figure out a way to grow out of that situation, to grow out of that predicament, to be better than you were. It's nothing wrong with losing friendships. It's nothing wrong with changing relationships. It's nothing wrong with changing yourself, your image, the way that you dress, the way that you talk, the way that you move. It's nothing wrong with that. And if someone says that it is, that's a sign that they're not willing to grow. They're not ready to change. And you can't force change and growth upon someone. You literally kind of just got to let them do them. And then when they come around, you might be available for them and you might not. I'm sure that those of you who are listening have heard someone older than you tell you, you can outgrow people. You really can outgrow people. The person that you were with when you were 15 or 17 is not necessarily the same type of person that you need to be with when you're 25. The goals that you have for yourself at 25 might not be the same goals that you have for yourself at 30. And so you can outgrow a person. You can outgrow a relationship. You can outgrow a job. You can outgrow almost any situation that you find yourself in. And so your job is to acknowledge that, to see it when it's coming, and then make whatever necessary precautions and whatever necessary moves you need to make so that you can grow, so that you can move. I don't care what it is, right? I look at myself and I always used to tell myself I have no talents. Right? I'm not a hustler. Detroit is a city of hustlers. So everybody is doing multiple things. They got multiple sources of income. And they making a way. They making a way to make things make sense. They're making a way to make things work out. Like they are literally figuring something out in more than one way. But I realized I indeed do have a talent. And I indeed do have a heart of a hustle. I just got to figure it out. And so the podcast became my first hustle. That was a point of growth. And then when I started the podcast, I needed a team, right? And then I realized that team wasn't ready to be with me. That team wasn't ready to do the things that I needed done. And so the team went from a team to me. And it's no knock or no shade against them. They were living their own lives, and me expecting somebody to have the interest in me that I had or in my brand that I had in it, they're not. So I got to grow my brand organically. I got to grow it by myself. And I'm okay with that because that's part of my growth, right? And then I just recently decided, I'm going to try to do this other little hustle, right? And today is the first day. I don't know how this thing is going to go, but I got a feeling it might work well. And if it works well, then I'm in another place. I'm in another situation to grow. And so that's what I challenge you to do. That's what I challenge you to focus on. How can you grow? How can you understand that even if you outgrow some people or the team of yours around you shifts, how can you be okay with that? And how can you understand that growth sometimes means that you lose something or someone to gain something? Don't feel like you've got to stop growing to appease somebody else or to please someone else. Spread your wings and fly. Don't be defined by someone else. Don't be defined by others' expectations of you or what they say you should be or what they say you shouldn't be. Be whatever it is you want to be. Do whatever it is you want to do, because you only literally have one life to live. And even though we all get the same 24 hours, your goal and your mindset might be significantly different than the people that you surround yourself with. And that might mean you got to outgrow them. That might mean that you have to outgrow those so-called friends. When I think about friendships and relationships and growth, I am reminded of the fact that me and both of my best friends, our relationships ebb and flow. We love each other, we talk to each other, but based on where we are in our lives, we are more interactive with each other. Tiana and I, as she has now become a mother and wife, are more interactive with each other than we were, because now we got a lot more in common. When Tiana was single and doing her own thing, we didn't talk that much. It didn't mean she wasn't my friend. It didn't mean that I didn't love her. It just meant at that time we were in two different places. But now that we're kind of in the same place, we're able to grow back together. And it doesn't mean that my other best friend and I, Therese, will grow apart. We won't, because we've always had a lot of things in common. It's just her kids are older, so she's having a little bit more freedom that I don't have because my children are younger. It doesn't mean anything about our relationship. It doesn't mean that. But our relationships, our friendships are good enough and strong enough where they grow and they ebb and flow. And if you can't find yourself in that situation or in that predicament, then you don't need the friendship. You don't need the relationship. Put yourself in a constant predicament to grow and to learn. Every day that you are living, that you are breathing, you are allowed to grow, you are allowed to learn, you are allowed to change, you are allowed to be better than you were yesterday. And so today, when you focus on you, and as you go into the weekend and your next week, focus on that growth. How do you want to grow? I want to grow my podcast. I want to grow this other little venture that I got going on. That's where I'm focused at. I'm focused on multiple incomes, multiple sources of income. That's where my growth is. But I challenge you to figure out, where is your growth? How do you want to grow? And this is Destiny signing out with today's Daily Diamond. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.